Okay. So this is part 2. We left you with a world-class cliffhanger talking about masculine versus feminine productivity. And this week, we're looking at this very common phenomenon amongst women leaders of finishing something and pushing yourself to go over deliver when it's entirely not necessary, simply because you said, yeah, I'm going to do it. Or, oh, I've invested this much time thus far, might as well keep going. Right? Or, oh, I paid for the networking group, I might as well keep going. Right? Or, oh, I paid for this, or I committed to this, or I'm on the committee for this. I can't say no. I just have to push through so that I can produce. I have to be a little bit more aggressive and stick myself out there and insert myself, to use some masculine images. And yeah, no, or no, not to smack you, but we're trying to get away from the masculine model of productivity, or at least raise awareness of his counterpart, the feminine model of productivity. And we're continuing our dive into that today, right, Nettie?
Absolutely. Diving right in to our conversation about masculine productivity versus feminine productivity, which tends to be more diffuse, more cyclical, more uh, bringing in a number of different inputs at one time, right? Um, Not that, so when we're talking about masculine and feminine, we are not talking about absolutes. So I just want to make that clear. Um, these things happen on a spectrum, right? There, some things tend towards being more like these structured, single focus strategies that we're talking about, and some things tend to be more global, cyclical, etc. So just for those who may have gotten their feathers ruffled a little bit, that, oh, I'm a man and I exhibit feminine productivity. Awesome. You may be a woman that exhibits masculine productivity. Amazing. So anyhow, just keeping that in mind here. But this idea that, like, you have to go all the way, you have to see it to completion, no matter what. And what we're coming with is the concept of sunk cost bias. It's actually something that you left us off with at the end of the last episode, which I would go back and check it out. We're on episode 24. So if you would like to rewind back to episode 23, I recommend it. It's a great setup for what we're going to talk about here today. But this sunk cost bias, that once you've invested a certain amount of time, energy, resources, that there's no going back. And we have to keep going to the bitter end, and how that can be highly, highly problematic, especially for women when we're talking about productivity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And make no mistake, this is the Wake Up Women Leaders podcast. So we are both women, and we are unapologetically talking to and about women as women. So everybody who is for that, come on in. And if your feathers are ruffled, enjoy the massage. Yeah, because we've got to raise awareness and look directly at it so we can have the conversation. But before we get any further, who the heck are you? I mean, who are you,
Introduce
Nettie?
yourself first, Victoria.
Oh, who am I?
Yes.
Who am I? Well, wouldn't that be more socially polite to introduce myself rather than like, oh, who the heck are you? Explain yourself. Are you on the list? Yeah. So I'm Sensei Victoria Whitfield, founder of strategicmeditation.com. I'm the world's first business Reiki master, which means I do energy work exclusively for business owners and leaders. I help both women and men. I've been doing that for 16 years, helping impact driven entrepreneurs and leaders get and stay grounded and clear in mind, body, and business. My role is to help you increase your energy so that you can increase your income and therefore your impact. And with that, take it away, Goddess Nettie. Who are you?
Thank you. I'm Nettie Owens. I'm an executive coach. I work almost exclusively with women entrepreneurs and leaders. And I do this through one-on-one coaching as well as programs that help you be more productive and increase your performance, accountable to the plan, and also take some time to create that strategic plan for reaching your biggest goals. And one of the biggest things that I teach the people that I work with, there's a few men in there, is that you have your own unique system of success that is going to help you reach the goals that you have set for yourself. And so when we can figure out that system for you, then when you can dial into it, not somebody else's, but maybe it might be inspired by things you see around you, but really dialing into what works best for you, we really unlock your unique strategy for reaching the goals that you have set. I've been doing this work both as a professional organizer first and then as an executive coach now for over 2 decades, and I absolutely love it. I love when we can have that breakthrough aha moment that truly helps a person clear the pathway to reach their goals.
Hurrah! Yay! Oh, where can
if you were listening, you missed the clapping.
Yes. By the way, what's your website? I forgot.
Saparigroup.com. Thank you so much. SAPPARI group.com. I'll see you over there. You can find me on LinkedIn, where you might be watching us right now, or YouTube.
Yeah.
Let's jump into this idea here about sunk cost, about investing and then feeling like you have to continue investing time, energy, resources into what you're doing. Why is that so uniquely problematic for women?
Guilt.
No sugarcoating this one. No sugarcoating.
No. Right? We're talking about productivity here. So this is how do you remain fertile? How do you remain producing, creating output, especially desired output at the level that your taste sets for you, like you're within your own standard. And sunk cost bias for women, especially, is the mindset of, even if the ship is going down, even if the Titanic is going down, it's my Titanic, and I have to stay on the Titanic as it's going down. So this is a nice fat recipe for burnout, for overcommitment, where, as I was saying at the beginning, I paid for the networking group. I have to go to every single meeting, no matter what my kids are doing, no matter what my body feels like, no matter what my preferences are, or no matter when my clients are saying, like, they would like a session. No, I paid for the networking. I have to. So there's such a thing as overcommitment. And this affects women because we are socialized to be, the psychological term is agreeable. Agreeable. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Okay. And I can. Yes, I can. Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, no, you're all right. You're okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes. Yes, of course. And all of that lovely crap causes us to paint ourselves into a corner where we will give away the time that we needed for our own fertility, our own productivity, our own health, wealth, love, freedom, etc. We will freely give it away to be nice, not the mean girl. I don't want to be mean and tell Suzanne, no, I can't make it to her fundraiser. I don't want to be a bitch and decline Roger's invitation to join that program because I don't want to be seen in a certain way, or, oh, I have to say yes because otherwise I will look bad. And so I feel guilty, or I am allowing myself to be guilted, or I am generating my own guilt, so that I'm doing things that I don't want to, or I'm doing things that I committed to that any sane person who has self respect would withdraw their consent from because it's causing self destruction. But women, we have this magical thing where we forget that things can cause us to self destruct because we're deep in service and the enthrall of supporting and uplifting and magnetizing others. Creator made us to be tremendous givers. We produce milk. It's awesome. We produce life. It's awesome. And you're allowed to have your own glass of milk that is compatible with your body. You're allowed to receive life and have a life. You don't just have to create. So be kind to yourself. Sunk cost bias is you're constantly going and you refuse to withdraw going because of that initial consent or that initial investment of time, money, or again, commitment.
Yeah, I mean, I think the important point here to I want to highlight is that that commitment can be your sunk cost. It doesn't have to be 4 hours of time. It doesn't have to be, um, $10,000. It could be that you made a commitment and that is your sunk cost, that now you're unwilling to release this thing in the past to be able to move forward to what you're trying to create here in the future. And for women, I think especially, I mean, you're talking about guilt, which I think is an important element. It's coming up because of an emotional attachment to the things that we do, we say, we create. And it's not wrong. Like, it is not wrong to be responsible. It's not wrong to be of service. It's not wrong to show loyalty or to be committed. Like, these are good qualities. But once you notice that the efforts that you're putting in to whatever you're doing, let's say you've been working on a report for the entire day, and your colleague calls and says, just letting you know, they've decided to move in a different direction. Sunk cost means, you know what, I'm just going to keep going. I've already spent the time. It's not getting me anywhere, but I'm going to finish what I said I would finish and I'll turn it in. Instead of letting it go. It doesn't matter that that time was spent because it's not going to help you reach your goals ultimately. I think another place that this shows up, and I mentioned this on the last episode, is Pareto's principle. Pareto's principle is an economic principle that says that 80% of your outputs come from 20% of your inputs. I did this last time too, and I feel like I did the exact same thing and explained Pareto's principle and then changed what I was going to talk about. You're welcome. I can change my mind. I do not have to stay committed to explaining the wrong thing here.
Excellent.
The law of diminishing returns. The law of diminishing returns says that you get to a point where, and it's not uncommon for it to be 80%, which is why I get the two confused sometimes. But you get to a point where you are no longer getting value for the amount of time and energy that you're putting into whatever you're doing. And so the further along it goes, the less of a return you get. Ideally, we want the further along we go to get a higher rate of return. We want compounding interest on what we're doing, but the law of diminishing returns says we're getting less for the time that we're putting into it. And the way that I feel like I see this the most often is, take our example, colleague calls end of the day and says, all the work that you've been doing, the folks want to go in a different direction and it's no longer useful or relevant, right? So it's the end of the day and our brains are not operating at their best. We're hungry, we're tired, and we keep going because we're going to finish the job. We're going to keep until it's bitter end. We're going. And so something that would normally take us an hour now takes us 2 at minimum. And you find yourself staying awake until 2 in the morning and you're eating snacks that you would not normally eat if you were really thinking about what you were doing. And so we want to be watching out for all of these economic principles. They're here, they've been defined for a reason, but they really truly come into play when we're talking about feminine productivity. I think because we allow ourselves to pretend that they don't matter. We allow ourselves to pretend that sunk cost bias doesn't apply here, that the law of diminishing returns doesn't apply here, that the law of Pareto's principle doesn't apply here because of whatever emotional attachment we have to the thing that we are trying to produce, the emotional attachment that we have to the past effort that we've put in. And so we are not able to see what's actually happening. For women, our goal here today is to help to bring some awareness so that you can notice the patterns that are existing in your thinking and in your working, so that when it happens, because it's going to happen. Like I could even feel it happening to myself today, feeling a little hungry. I've noticed that I haven't been as productive today. And so I might fall into the trap of one of these ideas that we're talking about. So what is our job is to start to bring some awareness to the red flags of when these things are coming up so that you can address it and make a different decision going forward.
Yeah. And I would love to bring back something that you said to yourself as an affirmation, as we're enjoying the different definitions and how they overlap. You said, I can change my mind. How dare you? I can change my mind? Right now, this, by the way, is a like a pearl. I'm not wearing pearls today. I was last week. I'm not wearing pearls today, so I can't clutch them. So I'll just clutch my earrings in how dare you. But this is not for the person who can't make up their mind. With love, this is the Wake Up Women Leaders podcast. And if you can't make up you can't make up your mind, being decisive is the hallmark of leadership. So with love, this one might not be for you. We're talking to someone who has made up their mind of, no matter how I feel, I'm going to push forward. Not for the person who's like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm not sure. I can't. Blah, 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 blah. I love you. And this one's not for you. This is for the I'll sleep when I'm dead sisters out there. Like, death is not sleep. Sleep is sleep, by the way. And to that point, a big thing that is messing with our productivity as women is the demonization of rest. Like, how dare you need to rest? Go produce. Suck it up, buttercup, right? Hold your breath and push through. Figure it out. Figure it out. Be kind to yourself. There's ways to produce with quality as opposed to quantity that involve inserting pockets of rest that are within the cycle of productivity that you're moving through. So for me, I learned to stop demonizing rest or my need to have, like, if you're doing like a Pomodoro or whatever approach to productivity, some minutes on, some minutes off, strategically, to best optimize the human instrument that you are inside of. You are not a machine. But I learned this especially when I started lifting, oddly enough, to not demonize rest, but instead that's part of it. I'm not like trying to lift all the weights at the same time. And forgive me if I've said brought up weightlifting imagery over and over. I can't help it. So I love it. And it's very concrete in that rest is part of the exercise. It's not evil, it's not wrong. Especially if you're in a powerlifting gym, you'll see people sitting around a lot and they're very strong. They can produce tremendous results. And some of the bodies that you see sitting around, you would not expect that result to come out of. But because they've had the proper amount of rest for their body type, the proper amount of nutrition for their body type, the proper amount of exercise or preparation for their body type when it comes to be that fertile, productive moment of pushing or pulling or lifting a tremendous amount of weight that you wouldn't expect, they're able to do it. But it's honoring and embracing rest as part of the productive cycle rather than demonizing the fact that you need to go to the bathroom during an 8 or 10-hour conference day, or that you need to eat during the work day as a human being and not an animatronic that is supposed to be producing transformation for everybody else. Be kind to yourself. Release the past. That was another thing that we were talking about before we went live, Nettie. That sunk cost bias is rooted in not letting go of the past. The past is gone. You paid the money, it's gone. If your kid is in the hospital, don't go to the networking meeting. Go take care of your kid, right? If like, so what? You paid that much money to be there. No. Have your priorities straight and respect the fact that you matter. Not the investment is not more important than you are or your family is. Or is it?
I don't think it is. I don't think it is. So, as we are kind of coming around the corner on our exploration here of sunk cost, I know you always bring in powerlifting. For me, it's the garden, right? And you never want this to happen, but sometimes you plant things that don't grow, that get eaten by bugs, that don't get enough water, whatever reason. And you could have a whole field of some things that just don't work out. I mean, so the sunk cost would be trying to get those same plants to produce after they're dead, right? It's not going to happen. You could water them until, you have no more water in your bucket. It won't matter. They're not coming back. So when we notice that trend, that the thing that we're putting our energy into, our time into, is not coming back, we need to let it go. We need to just cut ties, release, move forward. And one of the best ways to do this is to have a clear understanding of where you're moving towards. So if we know that ultimately our goal, going back to the garden, was to produce a profitable crop, and we can see that the thing we put into the ground isn't growing, then we move forward to another direction, something else that would be profitable, or just turn our attention to something that's already growing in the garden. Maybe it wasn't what you thought. Maybe it wasn't the plant that you thought was going to give you results, but over in the corner, due to these rain conditions and this sunshine, it is going gangbusters. We put our energy to what's working, not what's not working, and align it with the goals that we have that we're ultimately moving towards, not the goal for that one thing that we are putting our attention to right now. So being future focused can help substantially with dealing with sunk cost and letting things go when they're no longer producing results. Next week, we're going to be talking a lot about that future vision and how to come around our future vision by reverse engineering that vision. If you're curious about that, join us next time on the Wake Up Women Leaders podcast. This is episode 24. We'll be exploring episode 25 next Wednesday at 3:30 Eastern on LinkedIn, right here.
And YouTube.
And YouTube.
Yeah. And I think my cliffhanger for this week is, as we're being future focused, that is embedded into our bodies and our somatic wisdom in the form of the human sense called proprioception. If you've never heard of what proprioception is, you'll find out next week. So.
I'm looking forward to that.
Quite literally. I love it. So with love, thank you for joining us. If you've made it to the end of this episode, it's episode 24 of the Wake Up Women Leaders podcast. Make sure that you like this episode to tell the algorithm, yay, I did it. I finished this episode and it was awesome. I liked it. Also hit the share button and share it on your favorite platform so that more people can get this meaningful conversation into their hands. And if you want our support around increasing your productivity in a balanced way, one that is both masculine and feminine in harmony and in a healthy way, do comment the word connect in the comments below, and Nettie and I will reach out to you in a 3-way private message on LinkedIn so that we can find a time where the 3 of us can connect to talk about how we can help. So tag a friend below who needed to hear this. We'll see you in the next podcast episode. Bye, everyone. See you.